Difference in the way you carry out your assignments. A charge from the Vice President to heads of agencies as the nation evolves ways of making the business environment conducive.
Measures that will ensure that never again will be held hostage by one single commodity.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, speaks on the strategic importance of the media in the campaign for Nigerians to take pride in locally produced goods.
Going forward, both for nominees and also for the executive, we must respect our laws and our processes.
Legislative hammer comes on a chief executive, just as legislators call attention to the deplorable health condition of prisons. A very good evening and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Ainde Shuaga. The acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, has signed 3 executive orders that will greatly change some of the ways government businesses are conducted. The executive orders are on how to promote transparency and efficiency to facilitate the ease of doing business, support for local content in public procurement, and timely submission of annual budgetary estimates by all statutory and non-statutory agencies, including companies owned by the federal government. Non-compliance with these orders may attract sanctions. The acting President Yemi Osinbajo has enjoined Nigerians to strive towards making the difference in their chosen career to create a better nation. He made the call at a meeting with senior officials of ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, in Abuja on the ease of doing business in the country. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The huge challenge of governance, as noted by acting President Yemi Osinbajo, lies in the trust placed on public servants by the people, hoping for better living in return. This, as he explains, implies that all the systems run by government are meant to facilitate and to make the lives and livelihood of the people easier.
But the evidence over the years is that government and its agencies are seen more as an obstacle, a hindrance, rather than a facilitator. And this is across all arms of government. It's important for us to bear it in mind that any time a public servant, whether the public servant is in the executive or whether the public servant is in the judiciary or even in the legislature, every time that we create obstacles for doing business, we attack our prosperity as a nation. We also attack the future, because the young people simply will not be able to find accommodation to do the sorts of things that they need to do after being educated.
A major reason for this dialogue, meant to introduce and ensure proper implementation of reforms identified as solutions to obstacles the services render to the society. Calling on civil servants to take up the challenge to create the prosperity the nation needs, acting President Osinbajo says the Buhari administration believes in incentive system and also to use the stick where necessary.
The responsibility that our nations have placed have placed on us is also a huge privilege. Just mean placing an extra burden on ourselves, on regulators and the responsible civil servants. We must place the burden on ourselves. It just means doing the unusual, being innovative. But above all, we must be vision-driven.
Joint ownership, better coordination and increased collaboration between the various ministries, departments and agencies of government will be needed and is the key to achieving the things we have set out today.
When we work as a team, as one government, it's really going to be beneficial for the Nigerian people.
Nigeria is currently ranked 169th in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business ranking, and the mission of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, headed by the acting president, is to be in the top 100 by 2019. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo is to sign the 2017 budget. A tweet by Laolua Conte, Senior Special Assistant to the Acting President, says, and I quote, "When the time comes, everything is set and he is satisfied, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo will assent the 2017 budget." End of quote. The federal government has restated its desire to champion the patronage of made-in-Nigeria goods as part of policies designed to grow the economy. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this at the launch of Made-in-Nigeria goods in Abuja. Anthony Forsin reports.
The federal government's Economic Recovery Growth Plan is developed to restore the economy by leveraging on the ingenuity and resilience of Nigerians. It is in line with this that the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, emphasized the federal government's commitment to diversify the economy. And one sure way of getting it right is to patronize products manufactured locally.
This administration has, in the last 2 years, put in place measures that will ensure that never again will be held hostage by one single commodity. And of course, industrial growth, consuming what you eat and producing what you use.
The ease of doing business policy is another positive move by the federal government.
This government is determined to ensure that we move at least 20 steps up the rank of the world global standard of doing business. We have, for instance, been able to achieve 31 major reforms across 8 major indicators in the area of doing business.
Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment said,
"We're going to use our industrialization program to ensure that it is easier and cheaper and more attractive to produce the goods here. We are working with all the ministries, departments and agencies of government to ensure that we buy more made locally."
We are highly determined to implement this media campaign aimed at changing the psyche of Nigerians from our dependence on foreign goods and services.
It's not for pride, it's not for arrogance, but for pride in the Nigerian spirit. We are proud to have done it in Nigeria.
Records show that in 2015 alone, over 6.7 trillion naira was spent on importation of goods and services for which the country can produce locally. 1.9 trillion naira was spent on importing foods and drinks, 1.5 trillion on spare parts, 123.1 billion on shoes and clothes, and 399 billion on household items. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
A clampdown operation by the Joint Task Force, Operation Delta Safe, has led to the rescue of 2 kidnapped victims and recovery of large cache of ammunition from sea pirates in Bayelsa State. Gabriel Amunike has details of the report.
The commander Operation Delta Safe, Rear Admiral Apochi Suleiman, disclosed that over the weekend the command raided identified camps and shrines of sea pirates, kidnappers and vandals at Oluwasiri and Egbidiama Creek, Embras and Ikarama local government areas respectively.
The Joint Task Force Operation Delta Safe is resolved in its operational activities to ensure peaceful socio-economic environment within the Niger Delta region for business to strive.
The commander, who emphasized that criminals are humans living amongst the people, called on the members of the public to give useful information to the command. Meanwhile, one of the rescued victims appreciates officers and men of the command for their efforts. Items recovered from the criminals' hideouts include 3 pistols, 1 HK-21E rifle, and 1 12.7 mm gun, amongst others. In Yenegua, Gabriel Amunike, NTA News.
The Emir of Kano, Malam Muhammadu Sanusi II, has appealed to his subjects to safeguard the nation's oil and gas facilities. This was during a visit by the Managing Director of the NNPC, Dr. Mekanti Baru, to the palace in Kano. The NNPC GMD was in Kano for the official re-inauguration of the Kano depot for commencement of loading operations in the state, which was closed down in 2014. The GMD joined the traditional institution in Kano, state in appealing to all Nigerians to see government facilities in their domain as theirs. The Federal Ministry of Transportation says the Southeast geopolitical zone has not been excluded from the federal government's ongoing rail projects. A statement by Yetunde Shonaike, Director, Press and Public Relations, states that the two major rail projects of the federal government are the Coastal Rail Project, Lagos to Calabar, and the Lagos to Kano Rail Project. The statement also indicates that the loan from China Exim Bank will be used to fund 3 segments from the 2 major rail projects, which are Lagos to Ibadan, segment 2 of Lagos to Kano, Kano to Kaduna, segment 3A of Lagos to Kano, and Calabar to Port Harcourt, which is segment 1 of Coastal Rail Line. The ministry says the federal government's rail projects aimed at fast-tracking economic diversification and optimizing the change agenda in the transport sector touches various sections, and none will be left out. Saka came to some internally displaced persons in Zango and Baure local government areas of Daura Emirate of Katsina State as the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons donated relief materials to them. Awal Haliru reports that the affected persons are staying with their relatives.
Relief materials were distributed to 116 displaced persons, which include bags of rice, beans, sugar and cooking oil, among other food items. The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk, said the Commission is giving similar relief assistance to victims across the country, in line with the federal government's commitment to finding best solutions for families and communities affected by disaster. The Federal Commissioner added that the Commission would strive for displaced persons returned home or resettled and integrated into communities.
They should accept this kind gesture and they should make use of these items judiciously.
Some of the beneficiaries thanked the federal government for the relief assistance, adding that the move would impact positively on their living condition. Governor Aminu Bello Masari, while receiving the Federal Commissioner at the Government House, Katsina, expressed the need to move from ad hoc to more sustainable arrangement for the displaced persons. At the Palace of Emirs of Katsina and Daura, the Royal Fathers commended the federal government's commitment to address insurgency and other security challenges in the country. Awal Haliru, NTA News.
The federal government says it is targeting thousands of youths for empowerment under the Graduate Youth Empowerment Scheme of the Ministry of Water Resources. The Minister, Suleiman Adamu, said at the launch of the operational guidelines for the scheme. Musbau Danwahab reports.
Was the last set of beneficiaries in the scheme launched under the Bini-Owene River Basin Development Authority. Like those in other several river basins where the scheme has already been launched, these youths celebrated their liberation from the labor markets. Under the scheme, the youths are to be trained and empowered in irrigation and aquaculture. The remaining 4 river basins are also preparing for similar program, which Water Resources Minister believes needs to be standardized.
We're committed to this program, this scheme, to help our youth develop and by extension also revitalizing the river basins to be alive to their responsibilities.
Each of the 12 river basin development authorities is expected to train at least 50 youths per batch for a period of 1 year.
The guideline is defining what we need to do to get these people to become great agri-entrepreneurs.
I think these guidelines are going to refocus all river basins and put us on a definite program.
The scheme, which commenced in July 2016,
apply for applicants on graduate youth empowerment program
districts across the federation. Musbau and Wahab, NC News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Federal government partners states on production of staple food. Details when we return.
Change does not just happen. You and I, and all of us, must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account. It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glow is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glow One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable. Glow can provide huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glow is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
These data plans are available to all new customers and existing customers who renew their plans. Dial *777#. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights.
How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Rise up this morning, smile at the rising sun. Three little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
There's no limit to what you can do with data. With Nigeria's widest data network, it's amazing what you can make happen on MTN.
This is my message to you.
From the south to the northeast, southeast to the northwest, southwest to the north central, the Future Assured project and its component, Get Involved, is restoring hope to millions of Nigerian women and children.
We are actually doing a lot under Future Assured, the program of Her Excellency Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. And I believe what we are doing so far is impacting positively on the lives of women and children in Nigeria, particularly those in the internally displaced camps across the nation.
Get Involved supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Have you seen the new Opera Mini?
Browse faster. Get the latest news. Download videos and extend your data so you can browse all day.
Upgrade to Opera Mini.
Download now for free.
The Senate has ordered the Director General of the National Lottery Commission, Adolphus Joe Ekpe, to stop discharging official functions until due process is followed. National Assembly correspondent Waziri Zeyano reports that the decision was taken following a point of order raised by Senate leader Ahmed Lawan.
The decision to bar the newly appointed Director General of the National Lottery Commission was taken following Order 43 of the Senate rules. Senator Ahmed Lawal explained that investigations on the allegations made revealed that Director General has actively assumed office and discharged responsibilities in that capacity without following due process.
The conclusion on the side of the executive is he erred because probably he didn't get the correct briefing, that he should have waited until the due process and due diligence were completed.
Senate President Bukola Saraki said the Director General remained banned till further notice.
Going forward, both for nominees and also for the executive, we must respect our laws and our processes.
The Senate also dissolved into Committee of the Whole to consider the amendment of 17 items on the Northeast Development Commission bill. The bill, which was transmitted to the presidency in January 2017 for assent, has to be withdrawn in February after some issues which borders on constitutional prescriptions were raised. Outside plenary, the Nigerian chapter of the Global Legislators Organization for Balanced Environment has called on the National Assembly to pass the Draft Climate Change Framework Bill 2017, which is currently at different stages in both chambers. Senator Bukar Abba Ibrahim and Representative Sam Unebu, who are both president and vice president, respectively, told National Assembly correspondents that over 500 people died in Nigeria recently due to climate change-related ailments. From the National Assembly, Waziri Zeyano, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has implored the Federal Ministry of Interior, Health and the Comptroller General of Nigerian prisons to address what it described as the deplorable condition of healthcare services in Nigerian prisons. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the legislators also resolved to investigate the alleged killing of 2 unarmed men at Ifie, Delta State by naval personnel.
The mover of the motion, Representative Chike Okafo, observed that the frequent outbreak of epidemics and high rate of deaths in prisons is evidence of the poor state of healthcare delivery in Nigerian prisons.
We have the responsibility as a government and as a responsible and responsive house to intervene on their behalf and ensure that very well and adequate Medicare is made available to them.
The members also resolved to investigate the delay by Abuja Geographic Information System and related authorities in processing the backlog of applications for the issuance of certificate of occupancy in Federal Capital Territory area councils as moved by Representative Olajide Olatubosun from Oyo State. It also resolved to investigate the statutory funding of the Niger Delta Development Commission to ensure that the commission is properly funded as stipulated in its Establishment Act, moved by Representative Kingsley Chinda from Rivers State.
It's also need, even for the little that has come in, for us to see how well it's being utilized.
The need for policemen on duty to always wear their uniforms was adopted, moved by Representative Afe Oluwokere from Ondo State.
But concerned by the emerging practice of policemen on highway duties not wearing uniform, a situation that creates a crisis of identity.
The House rejected at second reading a bill for an act to provide punishment for stigmatization of victims of insurgency and militancy, sponsored by Representative Ahmed Yerima from Bauchi State. Those who spoke against the bill argued that such law already exists in Nigeria's constitution.
And the question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The nays seems like they have it.
From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara says the Not Too Young to Run bill, which has passed second reading at the House, is an indication that the National Assembly is committed to enacting laws that will engender more youth participation in governance. He stated this at the second sitting and third session of the Nigerian Youth Parliament in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
Explaining youth emancipation as a priority of the National Assembly in its legislative actions and interventions, Speaker Yakubu Dogara says the not too young to run bill has been referred to the Constitutional Amendment Committee for consideration. The bill, amongst other issues, is seeking to reduce age limit of candidates by 5 years to increasing the eligibility of youths for elective positions. Speaker Dogara challenged the Youth Parliament to come up with ideas that will engender youth development in all ramifications and key into the federal government's developmental programs.
A major challenge afflicting Nigeria's youth population is unemployment. And as your elected representatives, this gives us nightmares. It is also my strong view that the creativity and innovations of the young people are critical elements in engendering economic growth and development.
Taking them down memory lane, Deputy Senate President Ike Kweremadu advocated true federalism, which he believes will fast-track the nation's socio-economic development. Pioneer Speaker of the Nigerian Youth Parliament and the incumbent Speaker of Akwa Ibom Assembly, Luke Onofiok, urged them to erase political, ethnic and religious divisions for nation building. The Youth Parliament had debated on motions including the need to empower underage mothers and insecurity in the Northeast and corrupt practices. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture is to assist states, governments in the area of policy and capacity building towards improving their agricultural output to meet the country's demand. The ministry will also work with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council and the National Assembly in order to institutionalize the various interventions that are aimed at moving agriculture forward in a sustainable way. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
The federal government is concerned about the high cost of food items, despite the fact that production are on the increase nationwide. The Minister of Agriculture therefore believed that supporting state government at all levels of production will help in reducing the cost of food production. The minister, whose message was delivered at a ceremony flagging off the National Farmers Empowerment Program in Abuja, emphasized the need for private sector participation in driving the government agriculture initiatives.
From the very foundation of our activities, we will correct the soil nutrient deficiencies, this time ensuring delivery of the right fertilizer to the right soil.
We must inject seriousness. We must be sincere to ourselves. Then this nation will be able to feed itself and probably even begin to feed others. We have the capacity, I have no doubt.
We are right now in most parts of Nigeria in the 2017 planting season already. If you promise a farmer machine now, when is he going to use it? When? Next rainy season?
The Agricultural Empowerment Program is being piloted in conjunction with private organizations and development partners. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, has described the establishment of Digital Capacity Building Center in NTA premises by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDDA, as key to achieving the needed improvement in the sector. He said this during the commissioning of the center. Joseph Johnson reports.
Information technology cuts across all human endeavor because of speed, flexibility, and its relevance to the broadcast industry. To pride itself as a world-class television network, NTA has over the time witnessed continuous innovation, and the latest being a product of a partnership between the authority and the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, a synergy preparatory for digital switchover.
This collaboration between NTA and NIDDA will go a long way to improve the capacity of staff in NTA in areas of research and information technology.
What the center is all about is to try to build the capacity of Nigerians.
The Digital Capacity Building Center is local content driven, as the computer system is made in Nigeria by Omatech and furnished with licensed software to prevent vulnerability. 10 computer systems, e-learning server, a projector, power systems, solar, inverter and others were some of the donations made by NITDA. Now, the collaboration between the NTA and NITDA is very important to both parties. It's more like a win-win situation. And now with the commissioning of this Digital Capacity Building Center, it is expected that NTA staff who are beneficiaries will utilize this facility effectively in order to make television broadcasting much more professional. From the NTA headquarters, Abuja, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
And NTA News disclaims this fake Facebook account on your screen. Any post on it does not emanate from the NTA and should be disregarded. Lagos, Center of Excellence, is our first stop on NTA News tonight for stories making the headlines, and Jennifer is our guide. Over to you now, Jennifer.
Thank you, Ainde, and welcome to Lagos. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has urged the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos to strike out the motion and notice filed by the former gubernatorial candidate in Anambra State and oil magnate Ifeanyi Ubah, seeking orders for his release from the custody of the Department of State Security Service, DSS. Vera Chiuba, who was in court today, now reports.
The former gubernatorial candidate of Anambra State, Ifeanyi Ubah, had filed a motion on notice seeking orders for his release from the custody of DSS. Counsel to NNPC Turaki, in challenging the jurisdiction of the court to hear and determine the suit, stated that the alleged infringements committed by the plaintiff took place in Abuja and not Lagos. He asked the court to decline jurisdiction and strike out the suit. Okerimade, who also adopted the DSS counter-affidavit and preliminary objection, said Ubah's motion is aimed at frustrating the ongoing investigation on the allegation leveled against him by the NNPC. However, counsel to Ubah Isioma Esam asked the court to discountenance the objection raised by the respondents. She told the court that NNPC is currently owing her client's firm, Capital Oil and Gas Limited, the sum of 10 million naira and $8 million, which he has not reported NNPC to any security agency. She further told the court that her client was arrested on 2 occasions in Lagos and kept at the Shangisha custody of DSS before being transferred to Abuja. Ubah's counsel therefore urged the court to grant his client's application by ordering the DSS to release him unconditionally, or in the alternative admitting to bail pending the determination of the suit. The DSS had detained Ifeanyi Ubah since the 6th of May following allegation by the NNPC of theft and diversion of petroleum products stored in his tank farm. Ubah had approached the court for an order compelling the DSS to release him unconditionally, which the respondents are objecting to. In Lagos, Vera Chiuba, NTA News.
As part of activities to commemorate Lagos at 50 and address the challenges of human and vehicular gridlock in the state, the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, has commissioned the newly constructed Aja Jubilee Bridge on the Lekki-Epe Expressway and the Abule-Egba Jubilee Bridge in Agbado, Okeodo local government area of the state. Nosa Osula, who witnessed the event, completes the report.
Lekki-Epe Expressway is a strategic expressway with huge traffic-bearing capacity. The emergence of the axis as one of the fastest-growing property and business corridors in West Africa has led to the corresponding increase in human activities with high volume of vehicular traffic. Both residents and road users along this axis have clamored for a solution to the traffic along the expressway, especially at the Aja roundabout. According to Governor Akinwumi Ambode, the project was conceived to resolve the perennial gridlock at Aja Ado, Baduri, Lekki Etiosa Expressway roundabout and environs with the intention that the Lagos-bound traffic along the expressway is effectively channeled into Freedom Road and Admiralty Way.
We have to give this project priority because of its strategic importance to the economic growth of the Lekki Free Trade Zone and the Lekki-Epe axis.
The commissioning of the Abuja Jubilee Bridge, Ambode stated that the project will ultimately improve the socio-economic activities in the axis.
This is just a continuation of interest in trying to decongest the traffic situation around Lagos.
The Abuja Jubilee Bridge is 160 meters long with dual carriageway and a total length of 620 meters ramp with service lanes, while the Abuja Jubilee Bridge is 700 meters of 7.3 meters dual carriageway. In Lagos, Nusa, Osula, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. It's time to take a break for some messages. The news continues shortly with Ainde in Abuja. Stay tuned.
Let's pepper them. So tell somebody to tell everybody to come join Timaya, baby. I they bring too much sauce. Glow Mega Music Talk. It's gonna be a mad over your 10. Yo, ready to we are showstoppers.
I'm your host for the biggest show ever.
If you miss the store, you're gonna miss everything. So join me, guys. Let's turn up.
We'll be storming across Nigeria. I won't be anywhere else.
Everyone who is anyone is going to be there.
All Nigeria's A-list musicians.
One big stage.
Live and direct.
Glow Mega Music Tour all over Nigeria.
So watch out because we dey come. Let's go!
It's the Glow Mega Music Tour with your favorite anchors and special guest stars. It's gonna be untamed. Text music and your preferred location to 207. Use 2,000 Naira Glow airtime in 1 month to stand in line for your free ticket. So what are you waiting for? The Glow Mega Music Tour. Glow Unlimited.
Of real orange pulp in every bag.
Where's the pulp?
Fiber Life Pulp in Orange. More in your neighborhood.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, invites directors, deputy directors, assistant directors, chief administrative officers in the federal, state, and local governments, top female officers in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, Customs, Immigration, Federal Road Safety Corps, Prisons, National Security and Civil Defense Corps, including all parastatal organizations and their counterparts in the private sector, to its 5-day leadership workshop for women. Workshop content, mainstreaming gender into policy-making process, overview of gender issues in organization, the power of attitude, leadership and motivation skills, emotional intelligence for leaders, coaching, networking and mentoring skills, problem-solving and decision-making skills, time and stress management skills. Date, Monday 22nd to Friday 26 May 2017. Venue, ASCON Topo Badagry. Arrival date, May 21st, 2017. Workshop fee, 85,000 Naira. For more information, please contact Mrs. M. Ilshenebo, Director of Studies on 080-330-88163 or Mrs. P. Babalola on 080-344-67728. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
Issues in the sports sector remain one of the most debated among Nigerians due to the passion, followership, government involvement, impact on Nigeria's external image and our national life in the sports parliament. The NTA offers Nigerians deep views on issues with experts in the sports sector, offering in-depth analysis, hindsight, insight and foresight towards elevating Nigerian sports to the zenith on the floor of the sports parliament.
The benefits that accrue
in school sports. It is the bedrock of any nation.
A few Nigerians wanted the status quo to continue. So I don't think we should put all Nigerians and say Nigerians don't follow the trend, because the smart ones, we are following the trend.
The National Sports Lottery Fund, shrouded in secrecy.
The fact that the Super Eagles played an NTA, not only NTA, no Nigerian broadcaster, in fact, no broadcaster anywhere in the world from our records was able to bring that match. It's a matter of concern.
Issa Hayatu was president for 29 years. He lost the election in Addis, and that's it. He's gone.
Sports Parliament, a unique platform for sports discussions, showing live on the NTA, Thursdays at 11 p.m. Keep a date with the parliamentarians.
The eyes have it.
Nigeria turns to Islamic Development Bank for more support in the implementation of its economic recovery and growth plan. Details with Vivian Idepefo on Business News.
We're glad to have you join us on the Business News. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelama, says the ongoing SME clinic is one of government's strategies to get small businesses in tune with policy provisions, regulations, and global trends in doing business. Mr. Enelama, who was speaking in Abuja at the Made in Nigeria product launch, said one way of promoting local consumption is by adhering to global standards.
They're called clinics because when you come there, you get instant treatment, you get instant advice, you get instant results, and of course we maintain it when we go. And I pray that these MSME clinics will become the way we do things.
Nigeria has urged the Islamic Development Bank, ISDB, to do more for her by supporting the implementation of the country's Economic Recovery and Growth Plan, ERGP, and the delivery of signature infrastructure to meet the development aspirations of Nigerians. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Finance, Mahmoud Issa Dutse, who made a presentation as Nigeria's governor on the board of the bank, expressed Nigeria's appreciation to the ISDB for upgrading the Nigerian office to a regional hub, which will be responsible for other countries in the West and Central Africa. And now to the capital market. The Nigerian Stock Exchange sustained gains Thursday as investor confidence remained strong to see the all-share index rise by 0.71%. That concludes our package on the Business News at this time. Now to the rest of the bulletin.
And Shehu has the next reports from our Jos Network Center. Shehu, take it away.
Thank you, Ainde, and welcome to Jos. For decades, the deplorable condition of Jos Saminaka Road has been a nightmare to road users. But a recent visit by NTA News crew shows that motorists plying the 70-kilometer route now enjoy a smooth ride. Kim Gotts tells us more.
Monitoring team of the agency in Plateau State, led by the Public Director of Works, Amos Chimezi, visited various rehabilitated roads in the state. He said routes linking Jos, Kaduna, Bauchi, and Nasarawa states were deliberately selected for general repairs and maintenance by the agency for economic reasons.
We are taking care of Jos Gimi Road, Jos Saminaka, and Jos Bauchi. These are major economic routes. These are major interstate routes.
FEMA engineer Plateau State David Toluwatope said a number of completed patched potholes have been accomplished across the state.
A lot of potholes on the road. In this recent time, we carry out some arrangement to restate all those potholes, as you can see. And you can see the motorists, they are now driving with comfort.
Motorists have this to say on the major repair undertaken by FEMA.
Now, there are so many accidents on the road because of the potholes, but now we are so grateful that the rate of the accident has stopped now.
They, however, appeal for more rehabilitation and maintenance works across the state. In Jos, Kim Gotts, NTA News.
A summit of governors of the 6 riparian states has ended in Jos, with participants brainstorming on the management of fresh water, essential to sustaining life, environment, and socio-economic development within the Yobe Water Basin. Governor Simon Lalong urged member states to effectively adopt the national water policies, strategies, and regulations. Paul Dama has the details.
The summit, which is a follow-up to the technical session held to address the water resources management challenges of the 6 riparian states of Plateau, Bauchi, Kano, Jigawa, Borno, and Yobe, had in attendance the host governor, Simon Lalong, Mohamed Abubakar of Bauchi, and Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano, while governors of Yobe, Jigawa, and Borno were represented. Governor Lalong, who challenged stakeholders to develop appropriate water charter and strategies that are practically relevant and internationally acceptable.
It will therefore be necessary for our economic good to recognize first the basic rights of all human beings to have access to clean water, and then to sanitation at an affordable price.
Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, who was represented, and the Chairman, Senate Committee on Water Resources, Senator Muhammad Ubali Shitu, both urged governors of the 6 riparian states to implement strategies to resuscitate the Hadeja, Jama'are, Komadigo, Yobe Basin Trust Fund.
We envisage a situation where the Federal Ministry of Water Resources will rely on the Trust Fund in the process of executing programs planned for the northeastern parts of the country.
There was a presentation by the Executive Secretary of the fund where he suggested sustained funding as the way forward. A communique was signed at the end of the summit. In Jos, Paul Dama, NTA News.
It's back to Ainde with more on News at 9.
Thank you, Shehu. The Buhari Friends Organization Network and National Center for Women Development are synergizing to empower Nigerian women to contribute their quota to nation building. This was the thrust of the meeting between the two bodies in Abuja.
Government should equip this agency with modern tools and necessary equipment to be able to impact positively on the potential trainees. Trainees from the center should be equally assisted by government through the agency to set up their shops for self-engagement on completion of their training.
And I will show you that within my capacity and with the grace of God, I will put in all my best to ensure that our women are brought back together and not just bring them back, ensure that they are all empowered.
The chairman, Buhari Friends Organization Network, Athanasius Okon, among other requests, urged the government to direct funding of the Women Development Center with specific financial incentives. Benin Network Center is our last stop on the news tonight. Over to you, Ogochukwuka.
Thank you, Aide. Welcome to Benin. The aesthetics of landmarks in Benin are back. This is because the state government is enforcing strict sanitation and traffic laws in the metropolis. Governor Godwin Obaseki, while inspecting some locations for proposed bus terminals in the city, says there is no going back on the policy.
Since the demolition of illegal structures and clearing of traders off streets and walkways in major markets and at King Square, sanity has returned.
You must take some drastic action for certain things to be done.
What the government do is okay. It's good for us. It makes us move free. It makes us avoid pocket picker.
This decision by the government is sequel to a stakeholders meeting comprising government officials, landlords, traders and residents, where it was resolved that it is imperative that laws are enforced in this regard as residents flout sanitation laws without reservations.
The task to clean Edo State is one that must be done. It's a priority to this government. It's in line with our vision to restore law and order.
Governor Godwin Obaseki, while inspecting some locations, including 2 schools for the relocation of commercial vehicle operators, said this policy must be sustained.
The intention is to rebuild the infrastructure, the number of classrooms here, and move some of those pupils so that we can free up that space and use that land for a central terminal.
In the meantime, mobile courts have been established to prosecute offenders.
Women journalists are in Benin to elect a new leadership for the union in the next 3 years. Dignitaries at the opening ceremony of the conference have been encouraging the women to develop special interest in stories that will strengthen Nigeria's unity. The theme of the conference is the role of women in Nigeria's dynamic economy. Agatha Egwareujo reports.
The delegates for the national conference have also been taking lessons on how best to keep the home front happy as they strive to be successful in their profession. Governor Godwin Obaseki, represented by the head of service, Mrs. Gladys Idaho, opened the conference.
We are just coming out of recession, and women as mothers of the home and as mothers of the nation, we have an important role to play.
It was an avenue for the administration of Ifenyua Omowole to give an account of stewardship in the last 3 years.
Health insurance scheme for our women. We need to train our journalists, and the UN Women has agreed with us.
Journalists and guests say the conference will also address issues of welfare for women journalists and called for a peaceful and conclusive election.
Remember, after today, there will still be no watch. Mind what you say today, such that you don't have cause to regret it tomorrow.
I'm hoping that they will use this opportunity to look at those challenges, the bottlenecks that mitigates against women.
Female journalists across Nigeria, that their capacity will be built so that they can compete favorably with their male counterpart.
The conference afforded the women the opportunity to meet and renew sisterhood, which the association preaches. At the time of filing this report, election was about to commence. In Benin, Agatha Egwareujo, NTA News.
Ainde is back to you for the continuation of the news.
Thank you, Ogochukuka. Global tidbits and sports in the concluding part of our bulletin after this time out.
National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
With pain in our hearts, but with gratitude to God for a life well spent, we announce the passing away of our beloved mother, grandmother, sister, auntie, and cousin, late Mrs. Elizabeth Uyi Alaba Dikibo. Funeral arrangement, 20th May 2017, Lining State, at 30 ATC Road, Okrika, River State. Time, 9 a.m. Funeral service at National School Field, Okrika. Time, 10:30 a.m. Interment, Koniju Town, Okrika. Time, 12 noon. She survived by a son, a daughter, stepsons, brothers, and sisters. Before her death was a senior assistant postmaster general, Barrister BC Adebuyi, postmaster general, and CEO NI post announcer.
Time now for global tidbits with Talatu Ezirike.
Tanzania's goal of eliminating HIV/AIDS by 2030 has received a boost, with the United States approved plans to give the country $526 million over the coming year. The aid will bring the number of Tanzanians on HIV treatment to 1.2 million. This comes as security forces in the Democratic Republic of Congo say more than 3,000 prisoners are believed to have escaped when armed men attacked the country's main prison. From Japan, Princess Mako to lose royal status by marrying a commoner based on the country's imperial law. And former chairman and founder of Fox News, Roger Ailes, dies at 77. He ran Fox News since its launch in 1996. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talati Zerike, NTA News.
And Tamara Ebiwe is on Sports Update.
Following their qualification for the 2017 World Beach Volleyball Championship, slated for Vienna, Austria later in the year, the national women's team have called on the authorities to ensure early and adequate preparations for them as they bid to represent the country creditably. The team arrived Abuja Tuesday from the Africa Cup of Nations in Maputo, Mozambique, where they picked ticket alongside Rwanda, Morocco, Kenya, as well as the hosts.
Request and plead for early preparation so we'll be able to go there, fight hard, and also make our country proud as we have always done.
In tennis, France Kelvin Henry progressed to the semi-finals of the ongoing Gladiator, defeated Moez Chagui of Tunisia 6-3, 6-4. Beja Kristin of Serbia progressed to the semi-finals with a 7-5, 6-2 win over Takanyi Garaganga of Zimbabwe. Guatemala's Christopher Figueroa beat Alessandro Bega of Italy to also book a slot in the semis. World Footballer of the Year Cristiano Ronaldo